Hi, my name is Celia Strickland, and I'm the owner of Sweets from the Soul. We are an online retailer of cookie cutters and cookie stencils, as well as fondant tools. I will be showcasing ways in which you can layer elements on background stencils to create a beautiful, multicolored image on your cookie without the use of an edible printer. Let's talk about all of our supplies that we will need for this tutorial. You always want to begin with a good set of Plaque cookies. When I design a cookie set, I always start with an intricate cookie cutter such as this, and I usually use it in 2 different sizes. And then to add to that, I use smaller cutters in basic shapes such as ovals, squares, and circles. Of course, you'll need cookies that are fully dried. You should be flooding them the day before and allowing them to dry overnight. You will also need some stencils. I'll be showing you ways in which you can begin with a background stencil and put elements like details and messages on top. To hold your stencil in place, you will need a stencil genie. If you don't have a stencil genie, you can also use magnets to hold the stencil down. Today I'll be using the magnets to weight the stencil elements down on our stencils. We will also be doing some roll icing scraping, so you'll need a stencil scraper. You'll need scribes. Here I have a Thingamajiggy and just a regular scribe by Wilton. You'll need some cornstarch for when you want to dry your airbrush colors quickly. Of course, you'll need an airbrush machine and airbrush colors. I prefer Ameramist. They come in various different sizes and different colors. I began with the student kit, and with that kit I was able to make a lot of different colors by simply adding black, white, or brown to my colors. We'll also be using a gold shimmer in our design today. This is by Plaque, as well as the pearl sheen by Ameramist. I use these to overlay on top of other colors just to give that extra sparkle to the cookies. You'll also need something to rinse your airbrush out in, as well as some water. I've prepared my surface by covering it in several layers of paper towels. I also have an extra layer of paper towel over here to test out the colors before I begin using them on my cookie. Now, before I start a design, I always want to test it out on cardstock. And with this, we're going to begin very simply. We are using an element stencil as well as a message stencil. In this case, it's Happy New Year, and a mandala here, the Starburst mandala. I like to try different colors to see how that's going to work. A lot of times when you're using a background and you're spraying another stencil on top, you need something that's lighter in color so that it doesn't interfere with your message that's going on top. In this case, I really like the gold shimmer. That's by Plaque, and it looks beautiful, but the black just does not cover it as well as a secondary layer. The blue is good, but I think I'm going to go with the gold airbrush, Ameramist airbrush, and then top it off with the black Ameramist. I believe that will be the best design for us. I can also take my cookie cutter and just see where I want to place it on the cookie. The mandala, in this case, I think I want it just off to the side just a little bit, with the message taking the most part of the cookie. In this case, we're not going to be able to use the stencil genie because I don't have enough space on the side of our cookie, since I have decided to put it off to the side just a bit. I'm just getting these last petals off the cookie, and then we're going to weight it down with our magnets. So we are using the Ameramist Gold. Always make sure you shake your colors well before starting, and we'll just need a drop or two since we're only doing one cookie. I want to make sure that I hold down my stencil well. Starting at the outside, I'm going to come around using light layers. Looks like I had a little bit of black left over in my gun. That's okay. I should have tested it out on my paper towel before beginning. Now I want to hold my finger down on one side while I'm pulling off the magnet so as not to let it slip and smear the color. And there we go, that looks good. Alright, our next one is going to be our message stencil. I still see a little bit of dampness on our cookie from that color. I want to make sure that that's thoroughly dry, and so I can take cornstarch and blot some of that wetness off of the cookie before we go on to the next step. Next, we will add our message. I do believe I can put that in the Stencil Genie for this step. Yes. So I'm just going to have it overlapping the mandala here, making sure that all of it is sitting there on the cookie. I'm going to go ahead additionally and weight down the sides. When using black airbrush, it does have a tendency to, at least in my experience, to go everywhere. So I'm going to make sure that I have that weighted down. Let's go ahead and spray out the rest of the yellow that was in, or the gold that was in my gun. I'm going to give it a quick rinse with some water. Our first layers you want to be light on the first time around, making sure that you hold that stencil close to the cookie so as to prevent any underspray. Again, this first layer is just a light layer. Next, we'll go back over it again. I think we got good coverage. Again, you want to hold your stencil while you are removing those magnets and then pulling straight up, and that is beautiful. And we were able to cover up the get good coverage over the Starburst Mandala with our Happy New Year saying. Now I have a trick that I use whenever I'm using gold to get that added shimmer. Let me clean out my gun and I'll show you what that is. To clean out your gun, you'll just want to make sure that you have filled it with water and then just spraying it into your container until it's empty. Once you've done that, blot the end of the gun off on the paper towel just to get rid of any residual effects. Alright, my secret weapon whenever using gold is the Amethyst Pearl Sheen. When you spray this over gold, it tends to make it shine just as if it were using this gold shimmer by Plaque. Test it out on our paper towel just to make sure we get all of that gold out, that black out. And then we're just going to do a light mist over the top of our cookie. Didn't quite get enough. And there we have it. I don't know if you can see that shimmer in the camera, but it gives it just a nice shimmery effect for the New Year glitz, so glitz and glamour of New Year. Now let's add some companion cookies to go along with it. I've taken this small 3-inch cookie and I have simply taken the mandala stencil and placed it over to both sides. And now I'm just going to grab that little bit of the Happy New Year stencil that has the fireworks on it. And I'm just going to take my magnets and cover up the happy part. And I'm going to cover up this part down here so that I don't get any overspray. And then I can also use my thingamajiggy just to block that spray as well. And I believe we have it there. And with just the light touch, we've added another element to our cookie. And there's our companion cookie. Thank you for joining me today. I hope I've been able to entice you to add some of these techniques to your cookie decorating skills. To summarize, we began with using just element stencils to add a backdrop upon which we were able to layer a message stencil. The possibilities are endless in this area. This technique can also be used with a full background stencil upon which you can use a royal icing scraping technique of a bold element stencil. Both of these techniques are doable for the intermediate beginner cookier, meaning one who has basic flooding skills along with beginning airbrush skills. All of the colors and stencils are available at Sweets from the Soul as both a physical product that will ship quickly as well as a digital file that you can download and cut or print at home. At Sweets from the Soul, you will find a large variety of quality cookie cutters and stencils, as well as cookie class kits, full tutorials, and my blog where I share tips and ideas to help you in your cookie journey. For more content and full tutorials, please follow us on social media. On Facebook at Sweets from the Soul 912, on Instagram at Sweets from the Soul, and at our YouTube channel, Sweets from the Soul, where you will find full tutorials as well as cute shorts that will help you. May you have a blessed and joy-filled holiday season, and I will see you again soon at Sweets from the Soul.